We're here at the Worthington Diamond Recovery Plant on a beautiful morning around 10 o'clock on September 1st, 2022. First day of September. We made it through June, July, and August, so that's a good thing. This pipe here is a return water pipe. It's coming back into, this is our supply water pond, and it is pumped through an 1.5-inch pressure pipe to this point here. It comes from the settling pond, which is over on the other side of those flowers and near the Mini-X. That is our return water, our settling pond. And it's pumped by pressure to this point, and then it works by drain the rest of the way and drains into the pond. You can tell the water is pretty muddy. That's what you get when you wash rocks for a living. So just to explain our supply water situation. I know this looks funny, it looks redneck, but hey, we're in Arkansas and it's legal here. So let me just go out and explain this a little bit. So we have two supply water pipes here, and the pumps are out here, and I don't want the pumps to sit down in the mud and be sucking mud up. I want as clean a water as possible. I don't want them up above the water. I don't want a fixed pump height because this water level changes. So I attached hillbilly floats, redneck floats to the pumps, one here and one there, and that holds them up just under the water about that far. So the water that comes back from the settling pond, return water pond, is kind of muddy from washing lamprite, and it discharges there, and hopefully a lot of the silt settles out at that end of the supply water pond, and then the water over here is a little fresher, and we take it off of the top of the pond. And what I'm doing out here, I've got a 4x8 sheet of plywood. I've got some floats fixed here, and this is my electricity for the pumps. So the cords were only 15 feet long, and I can't have them laying in the water, so I had to rig up this float deal, and this keeps it out of the rain, and if I have to get out here, whatever. I've got unions where I can undo these pumps. Also, when I shut down, I have to undo these unions because it'll siphon water out of the supply water pond. If you aren't familiar with a plumbing term, these are unions. One's a dresser fitting and the other is a union, but anyway, I can take my big pliers and crack that and let it have some air, and then it won't siphon, because those pipes, once you start pumping, they go down here underground here and they go over to the Diamond Recovery Plant. Once you start pumping, and if you're downhill from there, it'll just continue to siphon even after you turn the pumps off. But if you let a little air in at the union, it'll break that suction, that siphon. Let me explain what we're doing. So yesterday we ran 3.5 tons of ore through the plant in 1 hour, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. And what we get from that is this tub full of, this is 1/8 to 1/4 inch size gravel. This is the 1/16 inch size gravel. And these buckets have smaller than 1/16 mud, sand, silt in them. I've got a dozen buckets, and that is not concentrated. So I run that through this plights jig here. Hey, speaking of hillbilly and redneck, is that not a great guard for that? I mean, an old oval elongated wash tub. This is just hillbilly. I've got to show you. So when I turn this on, we've got a flywheel in there, and you don't want to get your hand caught in there. For safety, I had to put a belt guard on there, and instead of buying one, I redneck rigged it. So anyway, this is our plights jig, and I have other videos about how that works. And with these 12 buckets, I pour them in, and they go into the Saruccas, submerged Saruccas that jig up and down, and I just continue feeding these in. I'll put all 12 in, and I'll end up with just one Sarucca because it waterfalls over the side of the Sarucca. But then when this vat gets full, it'll only handle about 6 buckets of that silt. When the vat's full, I dump it out. Well, the problem is, let me run around here. We're in our mining carport, which shields us from the sun. But then when I discharge it, we kind of get a mud buildup here of tailings from that small stuff. So what I will plan to do soon is put my truck and trailer here and get the Mini X and set up on this side of the deck and reach over and get all that mud. But now, after much ado, let me show you what I was actually setting up to show you today. But you know, I get to talking and I just got to tell you everything about everything. So after you know, I told you got the concentrates. This is from 1 day of running. This is your 1/8 to 1/4 inch. That's your 1/16 inch, and that's your real fine material. So you jig like size material together. This run was from a few days ago, and we ran 7 tons of material through in 2 hours. Well, then we had problems with the vats plugging up with sand, and we've decided to just go process 1 hour each day. So for comparison's sake, here on the left, these 3 piles are from a 3-ton sample. So we ran 7 tons there and got that many heavies. And when you run less material, you get fewer heavies. Like, compare the 16th inch material to this 16th inch material. See, with 7 tons, you get more heavies than you do out of 3 tons. So then this material here is from 3.5 tons. We improved it a little, but still ran just 1 hour. And then this morning we ran the plant, and I haven't cleaned it out yet. I'll make a video and show you what it looks like when I clean the plant out. But so we ran 4 tons today. So we had 7 tons in 2 hours, then went 3 tons in an hour, then 3.5 tons in an hour, and today 4 tons in 1 hour. So anyhow, it's really, there are 2 keys to finding diamonds. One is to process the right material, and this is the right material. It has diamonds in it. And the other key to finding diamonds is wash a whole lot of it. So the more you can wash, the better your chances. Now you wonder, okay, after you've got this Sarucca out here, what do? I'll show you. I just scoop it up like this. I take some of the choice heavies out of here, and I put it in this for my wife to sort. And I'll do the same thing over here to this one. And you can tell by the color where the heavies are at. And there just aren't as many heavies in this one. But now you wonder, okay, now what do? Well, in case I miss something, or in case a diamond fell off the side of the Sarucca, round Sarucca boards, it caught on the square Sarucca boards. So I'll take all of this gravel and all of that gravel, put it in the jig again together and jig it together, and I will probably get a few more heavies that I missed by the way I gathered it up, and then I'll put it in this for Cindy to look at. So let me go ahead while you're watching. I'll gather up these heavies as well. So you can see the good stuff. It's this darker material. I just take some off the top. There could be a diamond in this. So that spinel, excuse me, yeah, I saw spinel. That's black and lustrous. Here's some more hematite, but under it is lamprite. See, that's the light material. You can tell by the color. So you know we're not missing any diamonds if you've still got some lamprite in there. It's not like the vat didn't fill up with heavies and run any heavies over. So anyway, again, I'll take this material and jig together with that like size material, the 16th inch stuff. But all right, that's it. So this I take into my wife. Cindy sits inside, puts a little bit on a cookie sheet and uses a magnifying light and then a credit card and just drags it across and kind of looks through that grain by grain looking for the diamonds. But really, we've reduced many tons down to just a few pounds. So yeah, the diamond recovery plant is working great. It does its job. So I will do the same over here. I'll gather up this fine material and put it together. However, she will not be searching through it. What I'll do with this real fine material, because any diamonds in this is going to be real tiny and it's too tedious to sort through, I'm going to run this over a grease table. And I have videos that show you how a grease table works. So you might check that out on the YouTube. But anyway, hope to set up the grease table before long and get that to running. So our return water line is going to continue running for a while. See, we have two pumps that feed the diamond recovery plant. Two pumps say it runs for an hour, well, and then an hour and a half really, because I'm cleaning out the plant. So two pumps running an hour and a half into the return water pond, and then I only have one pump the same size returning the water. So it needs to run 3 hours whenever we run supply water for an hour and a half, because one pump has to do the work of two. That's why it takes twice as long. But that return pump, it's got a float on it. I just turn the power on, and once the water level goes down, the float drops down and it shuts the pump off. So I don't have to watch it and worry that I'm going to burn up a pump for pumping air instead of water. So anyway, it's all good. Oh, you might have wondered too what this is. It's just a big jasper, a big red rock. So now geologists lick rocks to get a better look at it. It brings the color out when you wet it, but you notice I didn't put my tongue to it. I'm not a rock licker. Well, I'm not a geologist, I'm a prospector. But anyway, when that's wet, it looks pretty neat. But just a red jasper, the friendly rock. And I had to pull it out of there when I saw it. But we got a lot of them like that. But anyway, thank you for checking in and learning a little more about our process, how we do it here, and turning up diamonds in Southwest Arkansas at the Worthington Diamond Recovery Plant, located just a short distance outside of Southwest Arkansas's famous Crater of Diamonds State Park. Thanks for joining us.